Hi, this is Nima. This is the common print run analysis for Guilds of Ravnica. It's a big set, it's a multicolor set, but most of the things do seem to follow the same kind of pattern actually. So I've got some packs just lined up on the screen right over here. So these 10 cards would be the 10 commons that show up in your pack, and then this would be another pack. And as usual, all the multicolor things and all the artifacts are in the back in the C runs, which are yellow and red on here, and then the run A cards that are bluish are always blue, white, and red cards, followed by run B, which is black and green. And this helps you kind of ensure that there is a color of, or this common of each color in your pack. And then you also have most of the strong cards grouped up in the C runs, so it kind of smooths that out so that you always have some strong cards that are in your pack at the common level as well. So just talking about how big the set is, got a little thing over here. Okay, it's a multicolor set, so there are, for each guild, which is a 2-colored pair, there's 5 of them. Each guild has 3 multicolor cards, and then 1 hybrid card, then 1 locket, and then there's Gateway Plaza, and then it fills out with the rest of them being monocolor cards, 5 of each color after that. Is that right? Yes, 5 of each color. Oh, no, wait, no, it's 15 of each color is what it is. That'd be way too low. Okay, and there's 101 commons in total, and then there's always 1 short printed card. It's almost always a colorless land kind of thing that doesn't mess up the color balance, but in this case it's Gravitic Punch. And it kind of makes me think about how much they had to kind of move things around just to incorporate all these multicolor cards. It kind of made them compromise a little bit on how they lay things out just to make everything work out. I think they didn't want to make Gateway Plaza the short printed card because they wanted it to be more represented, so it's easier to do these big color things. And then of course there's also 5 guild gates with each have 2 arts, so they kind of get represented as 10 commons in total. But they're not part of the print runs. They are in their own separate grouping. I'm just going to talk about run A. So usually, I always thought that run A was full of bad cards, and sometimes a good card would get in there by accident or something, but now I'm starting to think that maybe they do force 1 strong card of each color into here, because I see something like Healer's Hawk is definitely strong, and Wojciech Bodyguard is definitely strong, and then blue is kind of hard to analyze because I went through this before. If you leave out Wall of Mist, every single blue common is pretty strong. Maximize Altitude is probably the weakest of the bunch after that, but all of the cards that are in here, which are usually supposed to be like these not great cards, are completely playable. If they're not exciting, there's still things you can put in there, which it just helps blue out so much that you're just guaranteed to have strong cards no matter what. And then we look at red. I mean, most of the stuff is okay. But there's a lot of things in here like Fearless Halberdier, you definitely don't want that. Locksmith, you can do it, but you don't want it. Max Velocity, Torch Courier, these aren't really that great. And there's still some good stuff in here. And then white has a lot of average things, but they're definitely playable as well. Just like Take Heart and Righteous Blow, not exciting, but not bad. So talking about this, I don't want to go through too much because most of these cards aren't super strong. I didn't notice anything really useful that stood out to me. So I'm just going to move over to run B, which has the green and black cards. Green doesn't really have anything strong, unfortunately. I think Crawl Forgers is supposed to be a strong card. Maybe it got nerfed a little bit. But if this was a little bit stronger, I think it would clear up a lot of the problems with green. Most of these things aren't exciting at all. For black, I would kind of pinpoint Severed Strands as the card that's supposed to be strong in this run, because it's a removal spell and it's kind of a key part of like the whole Golgari style. But there's also like Dowser of Lights is unexciting but strong in here as well. But most of these cards in run A and run B are pretty weak. And I could put together a print run for this because it's very difficult with only 2 cards per pack. But if you want to look at run A, I have the whole sheet going to be in the video description if you want to look at that. And just to let you know, these are only for US physical packs. Does not work on Magic Online, does not work on Magic Arena either. I checked, and unfortunately I'm not sure what the pattern is for Magic Arena. I'm sure there is one though. C1 is where it gets a lot more exciting. So there's only a few monocolor cards in this, and then most of them are pretty strong. Like Prey Upon is definitely very strong. Command the Storm is really strong. Poisoner is, okay, not very strong, but it's fun. Capture Sphere is very good. Luminous Bonds is very good, obviously. And then the rest of it is pretty much filled out with, there's 2 lockets in here that represent the artifacts. And then it's got all of the hybrid cards, and then it's also got 2 multicolor cards for each guild. So this one's pretty heavy on power level, actually. Any kind of pattern I saw, there's nothing really color pattern-wise that I could really notice. I think it's very difficult to get 2 cards of the same monocolor involved, except that Luminous Bonds shows with Candlelight Vigil, so I can't really tell if this is supposed to be some kind of intentional thing that's going on there, that things are separated. It doesn't seem to be so. One kind of artifact that kind of coincidence, I should say, that stands out is that Hypothesis only shows up with Prey Upon next to it on both sides that it's printed on the common print run. So if you got a Prey Upon, you can usually, and there's a common missing, you can usually expect that Hypothesis got taken out of that pack. And same thing the other way around. If you get Hypothesis, you can be pretty sure Prey Upon got taken out. And also all the hybrid cards are in here. There is a very, very long string of just hybrid cards. I noticed this like right away when I was opening up packs. This run right over here that has 3 hybrid cards in a row, and then I believe, is that the only one? Oh yeah, this also run over here that has 3 hybrid cards in a row: Piston Fist Cyclops, Pitiless Gorgon, Fresh Face Recruit. I don't know if that's intentional. It just seems bizarre that it would happen, but it does. Yeah, I can't really analyze too much about that, but I thought it stood out. Going into run C2, I couldn't get this down exactly because it has a lot of strings that seem to repeat themselves, and it's hard to put it together when that happens. Oh yeah, I should mention that Gravitic Punch shows up in both run C1 and C2 as the short printed card. Again, don't know why that one's short printed. I assume it's just the only thing that could work for some reason. Just like how Siege Worm or just how Prey Upon shows up with Hypothesis, Siege Worm always shows up with Goblin Electromancer, and this really stood out to me as like maybe there's some kind of pattern that's being forced, that Izzet cards show up next to mono green cards, and then maybe Dimir cards only show up with mono white cards, maybe because they're kind of like they're not connected at all. But it just seems that it's just a coincidence, or if there is one, I can't actually see it for myself. Talking about the power level of these cards, though, Deadweight and Deadly Visit are super strong. Watcher of the Mist is really great. The 5 multicolor cards are mostly good, except for Garrison Sergeant, which kind of stands out as why is this here compared to Electromancer, Notion Rain. Undercity of Uprising maybe kind of compares to, and then like Rosemane Centaur. Even though Deadweight and Deadly Visit are in the same run, which I thought was peculiar, they will never show up together. They are pretty spaced far apart, and I didn't see them together at all. I did see that Deadly Visit showed up with Izzet Locket several times. So those are the 2 that stand out to me. Was like Siege Worm and Electromancer always show up together, and then Deadly Visit and Izzet Locket almost always. And I think that's mostly all I want to say about the print runs. If I wanted to say about the colors, it just really stands out that every single blue common is really, really powerful. Even in the multicolor ones like Notion Rain, and I think Sonic Assault is supposed to be like a mediocre card, but it's actually extremely powerful in the right circumstances. And then even their hybrid cards are just great. Like the Selesnya hybrid card is pretty weak. And I believe the Golgari one is also kind of mediocre, but then the Whisper Agent, which is Dimir, and the Piston Fist Cyclops that are Izzet, are both really powerful in their, and they line up very well with their themes as well, which really just stood out to me that blue is extremely well supported in this format. And then green is not, unfortunately. If you look at the Run B cards, a lot of these are just excruciatingly mediocre, and there's also like there's this, they made sure that there's a fog effect in the format, but there's no green ramp spell in the format, at common at least. It really stands out to me as kind of strange. It's no... hard to say exactly why they did that. Selesnya turns out to be not too strong. And I think it's just because of how it matches up in the format. Maybe it's supposed to be, in an average set, it's okay, but it lines up very, very poorly against blue because it gets tempoed out really strongly just by bounce or by getting tapped by Sonic as Assault. And I would like to talk more about the comments. I'm only supposed to talk about the print runs, unfortunately. Okay, maybe I'll make another video on that. That pretty much examines everything, in my opinion. If you want to take a look at the print run for yourself, I'm going to have it in the video description. And that's it for me. Thanks for watching.